this will be a fun one here. I'm joined with Sam Westfall from Talent Archery Challenge. Sam is a veteran who dealt with some very severe injuries in the military, and he's a competitive shooter, competitive archer shooter, competitive um, any kind of gun shooter. And he figured out a way to use archery to kind of help mentally and do all kinds of things. And now he's working with veterans to really just use archery as a tool to help veterans. So, Sam, how you doing, man?
I'm awesome, Drew. How are you?
I'm doing good, dude. I am just out here living the good life in San Diego. It's warm this week, man. 95 degrees. Where are you at?
I'm in Colorado Springs. We're about 91 today as well. So we're at Colorado Springs, about 91 degrees today. So right there with you.
Nice. So how do you go from being, in the military to competitive shooting? Give me your story. Let's kind of talk about it. It's kind of a cool story. And we actually were all off air, and you're saying like, man, I was really depressed and going through some mental health stuff, and my friend gave me a bow, and it just kind of changed your trajectory of your life. So, what's your story, man? When did you get in the military? Right out of high school, or?
Yep, right out. So let's back up a little bit even before that. So 10 years old, my dad got me shooting firearms, 22 long rifle, plinking birds, plinking prairie dogs. So I started working entrepreneurially at that age, going
Okay.
out to farmers' fields, knocking down prairie dogs for $2 a head. By the time I was age 12, I was shooting competitively with 4-H, got into shooting firearms, 22 long rifles, state level, scored second, third, and third over 3 years that I went to the state. Then I went into high school, got into the military immediately after, 26 days after I graduated, jumped right into the Army as an M1 Abrams tank mechanic. That was fun. Got to shoot everything that the Army had to offer that didn't fly. That's the only thing I didn't shoot was anything that flew. But I got to shoot from 9mm pistols to Paladins, tanks, Bradleys, you name it. I got to play with all of it. So had a great time there. Ended up getting crushed, which stopped my military career hard, put me out, ended up with some pain issues, some PTSD issues.
So when you say
Some
crushed,
depression.
you got crushed by
A tank, M1
a
Abrams.
tank. You got
Yep.
crushed by an M1 Abrams. Not many dudes can say that, and kept all your limbs, which is shocking.
I did keep everything. Years worth of therapy and kind of working through some issues. I haven't run since 2000. I have no need to run even when I'm up hunting. At this point, if I can't, I'm not trying to chase down an elk. It's just not going to happen. So I'll get up to figure out a way to ambush him instead.
You become a really good shot, so that you don't have to run.
That's the key part. That's part of that competition aspect of it. So
Yeah.
back to that. So when I got out of the Army, I stayed in competitions. I got into some alcoholism, depression, PTSD, alcoholism, firearms. Probably not the best scenario. Over the years, a buddy of mine grabbed a hold of me and said, I got to say this. You're kind of a jerk after you get done with a competition. I said, what do you mean? This was a firearm competition. I said, what do you mean? He goes, for about 4 days, your temperament's up, your anxiety, your stress, you're elevated. So it took me a couple more rounds, a couple more weeks of figuring out what was going on. One of those times we went out to the range and he just put a bow in my hand. He said, just shut up and shoot. I said, what's this going to do for me? How is this going to be different? He goes, just shut up and try it. Sure enough, the instant I pulled that bowstring back, all the noises, all the voices in my head went quiet. The instant I let that arrow go, a little bit of stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, all went out the door with that arrow. So that was neat. Let's try that again. Give me another arrow. So he handed me another arrow. Same thing. Amplified it a little bit more because the level of focus and both physical and mental focus that's required for shooting a bow is very different than shooting a firearm. And so it forces that focus mentally and physically to even draw that bowstring back, hold it back, line up on the target, and let that arrow fly. And then just, like I said, a little bit of stress, anxiety, depression, go out with that arrow. And over time, it's gotten better. 15 years later, I've gotten a lot calmer. And now it's just, I shoot for fun.
Yeah, man, it is true because I do both. I shoot a little bit competitively, and then I do, when I say competitively, it's for fun, nothing like sponsored or anything, right? Other than my own company, I guess. And when you shoot a rifle, yes, it is fun, but it's kind of like Crosshairs trigger, right? When you shoot a
Yep.
bow, it's like an extension of you. Like the bow, and that's the weird thing about a bow that makes shooting a bow. Like if you're in a bad morning, you go out and shoot just a dozen arrows.
It's
It you feel better, and I don't know
it's
what it is. Like
therapeutic.
it's therapeutic because it's all the way from your backhand to your front hand to your. It's just you can't fake it with archery.
Nope, nope. And typically with a firearm, even if you're shooting a pistol, there's a level of muscle memory involved in that. But it is front sight, back sight, your hands, and the target. And it's really not that hard. When you're talking about a rifle, especially anything long range, you're probably on a bipod, you're probably in a rest, or even shooting from prone. Like you said, it really is just you and a trigger, and that's all that's involved there. With a bow, that bow hand is pushing that bow out away from you. Your string hand is pulling that string all the way back and extending those cams all the way out. Every muscle from front hand to back elbow, everything in between, chest, shoulders, uh, elbows, everything's engaged. And then when you let that go, you still got to hang on to the bow or it's going to hit the ground, but it just lets something out every time.
100%. And anyone who shoots a bow understands this because it's like the biggest stress reliever in the world because you can't, like, you're going to shoot really bad if you're thinking about anything else other than that
If you're
pin
not
on the
focused,
target. If you're not
yep,
focused, you're going to shoot really bad, you know? And it's just, I always say it's cathartic, right? It's a
yep.
great way to get out there and just feel like, oh, and it's so much better than like something stupid like golf. Like, I know people say golf's the same thing, but no, it's not.
No. So I had the conversation with somebody a while back, especially for a lot of military and veterans, when you go to the gun range, you're muffed up. You can't really have a conversation. You're not interactive. Um, Golf is a little bit different because you can have that interaction. You can have that level of camaraderie, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's the same level of engagement that you have with archery. It's, especially from the trash talk aspect of it. For those in the military, they need that. They kind of crave and
Yep.
it's what we live off of.
Yeah, I always say that 3D archery is like golf, but not gay. Like you're out with your friends and you're
It's like golf, but for men.
golf for men. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you're out there and like there is serious trash talk going on because like even though you always want to beat your friends, you always want to have a better arrow. You always want to talk. I mean, if they put it in the foam or they miss, like it's just
Yeah.
you're in each other's heads. You're goofing off. We like if you ever get a chance to shoot with me, like we'll do fun stuff like hey, 1 foot, front foot up, front foot, back foot up. Whatever. Hey, from your knees, from your butt, whatever. 10 seconds or 30-second holds. Like we do a lot of fun stuff just to like.
So
We're all little kids at heart, right? All of us are just trying to beat each other and having a good time.
you hit all the high points, Drew. So that's what Valor Archery Challenge is all about. Is while I do have targets downrange, I do have challenge shots. So it's draw and hold for as long as you can. It's send an arrow in 5 seconds or less. It's shooting from flat on your butt, shooting from your knees, or even shooting from. I've got a really wonky, so it's off cambered and then it's angled shooting platform. The 1 foot, either front foot or back foot, has to be on in order to take that shot. Roulette wheel where you have to spin the wheel and that decides what target you shoot at. So it really is all the things that you said were all part of my events.
That's awesome, man. So let me give you an idea. This is an idea for your events. And I think, see, the military, the cool thing about military is you guys have like one of the most twisted sense of humors in the world. Like, I mean, like it's it's gnarly. And you love, I mean, very crude people a lot of times. It's just military, right? It's fun.
It's what
Love
we
hanging
live
out
off
with you
of.
guys. Love shooting with you guys. But the next level of this crap talking, like it's like you're a bunch of alphas, right? So have you ever seen this back off challenge in golf?
No.
So it's where they go to the ball and they have a comedian there just laying into you. And if
Oh,
you back off the ball, you lose. I want to do a letdown challenge. Like they
or
have to hold for 30 seconds, but you get someone there just like look at your mustache, look at you, your scrawny little like dude, just laying into you, and
okay.
and like and then if they let down, they don't get to shoot. You know what I mean? They don't get the shot.
That you
Or
missed.
something like
Right.
that. Dude, I think that especially in a military event, like some sort of a letdown challenge would be so funny.
I'm all for it. I'll write that up today.
So just having someone just like lay it and just make fun of them, whatever. You could even do the whole drill instructor if you want to get someone out there screaming at them too. But that's a little bit hard to do that all day long. But but like I think there's a comedian out there just laying into them would be hilarious and they would dig it and it's just fun. Fun getting made fun of and trying to keep that bow up for 30 seconds while someone's picking on you, it'd be a really good time.
I'm all for it. I'll put that together.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think that'd be really cool.
So kind of done to that same point, right? I got all those other challenges. I welded up steel rib cage for one of the mule deer targets. So 2-inch gap in between the ribs.
Never heard of that.
Yep, I'm the only one that's got it. And then somebody said, well, 2 inches is too wide. So I went to a boar target and I welded up 1-inch gap in between the ribs on the boar target. I've got a steel pillar that's got a 3-inch hole in it. You put that pillar out, let's call it 3 to 5 feet away from the target. You got to shoot through that 3-inch hole, but it's right in line with where the tin ring is. And then I've got a steel fence line shot where you've got to shoot right at the fence line. We're putting the fence line probably 7 to 10 feet away from the target, but that top fence line is right in line with where your vitals would be. So you got to figure out how to shoot over the top of it. It really is just all about creating challenge that brings that level of trash talk to go along with it.
Mental. It's mental with that stuff. So like anyone who's archery understands that you're aiming at the top of that fence, but your arrow's going over it because your arrow ballistically is going over, but you have to aim at it. And there's something about about rocks. There's something about rocks, something about trees that you just you're pulling way left because you're just afraid of that tree. And it's like, if you just
trust it, trust the shot and focus, it will go there.
So you kind of go from the competitive shooting world into the competitive archery world. When did that start? Like 2010?
Probably a little bit later, 2012, 2013, somewhere in there.
Kind of an extreme guy, aren't you?
Yeah, very much so.
That kind of you pick something up and now I'm a competitive archer, and now you have a whole event after it.
Yep.
So you pick up competitive archery. Now, are you doing Vegas style archery, or are you outdoor 3D only, or what?
Predominantly outdoor 3D only. 20 yards at a flat paper target just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I get bored, and I ended up doing more Robin Hoods than not. And that gets really expensive over time. I've got a collection of Robin Hoods hanging on the wall back behind me that's probably 12 deep. So yeah, I try to avoid Robin Hoods at all possible if I can. But I do have Robin Hoods on moving targets, so that's a different conversation.
So you get into it, you got into 3D, and so were you doing redding and stuff? Or what were you doing for 3D?
So I shot Total Archery Challenge for a number of years, and then I found, as I got deeper into it, talking with Beast Mode Archery, and then going into a couple local events here in Colorado, Mountain Archery Fest or Western Hunt Fest. Mm-hmm. As I spun into some of those, I also spun up the Archery in Motion business, which is the moving target, and went, okay, let's take the moving target, because I got tired of shooting stationary targets. I can't be the only one. So I spun up a moving target business and kind of took that around the country in 2024, all the way from Pennsylvania to Utah and from Wisconsin down to New Mexico. Had it across the country, about 300,000 shooters put an arrow in it. Everybody had fun with it. Didn't make me a millionaire yet. That's okay. But what I did find out in the process of all that is, well, Total Archery is great. It focuses on the extreme shooters. Western Hunt Fest focuses on the bow hunters. HHA USA focuses on the veterans in Wisconsin. Awesome. But it doesn't really do anything outside of that space. Well, let's build up an event that really has a potential to either travel or franchise, and that's really focused towards the military and veterans community using archery as therapy, hence Valor Archery Challenge.
So now this moving target business, are you selling moving targets, or are you just going out and renting out your deal?
So I was going out and selling them, and I was trying to rent them. Like I said, didn't make me a millionaire just yet. We'll get there.
Okay, so you are you can still go and buy one of your moving targets if you wanted to.
Yep.
Okay, so like my friend has Bow Disciples Challenge every year in San Diego. He could buy one of your targets. What's a moving target cost?
Depends on the model. So our 10-foot mover with a solar panel, so that's 10 linear feet, just straight down, straight back. You're looking at about $2,600. When you start talking about the monster, which is 76 linear feet, but it's an oval track, so you do quartering away, quartering to, broadside, frontal, and 13-foot distance change in that same oval track. Self-propelled, 36-volt battery, 100-yard wireless control. That's looking at about $15,000.
Wow. So and
you're talking about James, and I've had the conversation with James about getting a moving target at the Bow Disciples Challenge.
Oh, you've talked to James?
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He lives down the street. We're going to Mexico together here in 2 weeks, going fishing together, and yeah, he's a good friend.
Yeah, and he just got engaged, so congrats to him.
Just got engaged, finally, dude. The guy's been slacking over here, Brianna, dude. Way out of his league. I would have dumped that guy a year ago if he wouldn't have, finally got her engaged, got her locked down, finally.
That's right. Yeah, she does well for him.
She does well for him, yeah. I love both of them. They're awesome. I'm excited to go fishing with them actually in a couple of weeks. It's excited to not be doing a hunting thing, just being fishing with
Just
some
something
friends
different.
instead of something
Yeah.
outside of the space. I feel like we're doing all this stuff. Plus, I feel like me and him, like he was in Africa, then I was in Africa. I was in Hawaii, then he was in Hawaii. Like we've been like all over the world together right now, but not together. And I'm like, we'll
Nice.
just go to Mexico together and go fishing. So
Yeah, there you go.
So you're doing all these events, you're doing tax. Have you been involved with the vets at all up until this point? Like, are you going to like a VA? I imagine you're doing some mental health stuff, obviously, right? Because you're going through
Yep.
your own thing. Like, what?
Yep.
Let's before we get into like what you do with Valor, let's kind of talk about like your mental health and what that looks like. Like, what,
Um,
with like that challenge of like why the bow helped you a little bit, you know? Because coming out of like getting crushed, like I couldn't imagine being a 25-year-old kid. That's you, right? 25, right?
yeah.
You have your career in front of you, and then this happens, and then not only that, it happened in 2000. So the next year
It all went sideways.
all went sideways. All your friends now are leaving you behind to go do what you signed up to do, because you signed up during like the most boring time ever, the 90s, right? Like mid
That's right.
90s, like the
Yep.
worst, like the most. I mean, if you're looking for like the hardcore stuff, it was boring. And then now here you are, you got crushed, you're going to physical therapy, all your peers are going to serve this
Went
country.
overseas. Yep. Yep. Um, so on top of all that, I also got divorced at the same point in time. That's a longer conversation over a lot more beer. Anyway, but so my military career ended abruptly. My divorce happened. So stress, anxiety, PTSD, depression, dealing with levels of pain, dealing with therapy. The VA at the time was somewhat supportive, not great, and there weren't nearly the level of veteran support organizations that there are today.
Nothing
And
like today. Yeah.
nothing, not even close. Congratulations, you're out of the army, you're on your own. Good luck. And that's really what it was about. And so, like I said, I went into firearms with some alcoholism and some depression. Not the best scenario, but it's what I knew and it's what I had. Over the years, a buddy of mine grabbed a hold of me and said, "Here's a bow, just try it." So taking that bow, taking that arrow down range and really sending it down range, let that level of stress and anxiety drop. It took the mental stresses away. 3D archery, as you know, it's similar to golf, but for men. So you're out kind of hiking more. It's more of an outdoor adventure. So I'm getting some hiking. I'm letting that become my rehab for my leg and my hip, and then using the hunting aspect of it to kind of, I have a focus every year that I'm building up every year. I'm going hunting. I take 2 or 3 weeks off, and then I'm right back to it and rebuilding for the next season.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you think about it with these guys, right? Because what you're doing is working with vets, right? And yes, there is obviously probably the most prevalent would be mental health issues now, right? With
Yeah.
like PTSD, these guys would have never did it, and that's something that was never addressed. Like we all see the guy with one leg, we all see the guy with one arm, and those are the ones that obviously we all look at as more tragic. But yeah, I couldn't imagine being like, this is my career, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in a hospital for 2 years.
Right.
You're rebuilding. You're coming back. Everyone's looking at you. Your friends are over there getting blown up still, and you're over here. Um, and then there are the guys who went over there, didn't get blown up, but blew people up, or had their friends blown up, or had things
Yep.
blown up next to them, and they're dealing with this, and then they're coming back into society, and we're all like, "Hoorah, veteran!" Or even worse, today we're like, "Hey, asshole! Half the world hates you because you're American, right? And half of America hates
Yep.
you right now for being a soldier, right? Like, there's not
Yep.
like we went from this time of like I was in high school when 9/11 happened. I think I was a sophomore. I remember it was like everyone in the world had an American flag. It was a wild time to be alive when it came to being a
Yep.
patriot. And now, if you fly an American flag, you could be a racist.
There is
you
that
know,
chance. Yep.
it's really it's shocking. Now, if you support the police, you hate black people. Or now if you support, it's a really weird time to be alive for a veteran, where they're not getting the same. Everyone stand up and support your vets. You will the duck dinners, you will some of that stuff, but
Yeah.
the hunting dinners. But it's a weird time to not have support, and I can imagine being pretty lonely.
Very much so. And that even, having the conversation with the participants at my events, I've had a couple of them tell me, thank you for putting these together, because it's nice to be able to connect active military up with a veteran, because the active military needs to figure out, what does that transition feel like? What is that experience like after the fact? The veteran wants to connect back up with those that he knows. The other veterans are active military, because it's a level of camaraderie regardless of what branch it is. And then when I throw a civilian in the mix as well, then both of those can have the conversation of, what am I getting into when I walk away and join into the corporate space? And civilian can kind of tell them what that's like without not seeing it from the same side, but at least it's a different perspective for them to understand, or to help build that level of camaraderie in a shared space in archery.
Got you. Now, so now your event isn't just for, it's not like Wounded Warriors. This isn't only like a Wounded Warrior type event. This is an event for all military, active duty, non-active duty. I'm sure you have injured archers as well. I mean, the whole nine.
Yep. So even civilians are welcome, because I do want that interaction across the different platforms, right? That having that seamless conversation across multiple folks, military, veteran, and civilian, really does, it changes the perspective. If you think about TAC, they hand out a scorecard, but it's really not a scored event. It's not a sanctioned event, versus like an ASA or an IBO type event where it's a hard score. You've got judges, you've got the whole 9 yards. My event's really just a fun shoot. I don't even hand out a scorecard, because I just want you to focus on slinging some arrows, having fun, and building that level of camaraderie across the group.
And how are you doing these events once a year, or what are you doing?
No, I just had my 4th event here a week and a half ago.
No way.
And right now I'm focused in Colorado, but it's going to grow. We're going to start to expand out in 2026, probably in the western states, and then kind of figure out where to go from there.
Really? So you're all in. How many targets do you have?
My inventory right now is a little over 50 targets deep.
Jeez. Are you setting 2 courses, 3 courses?
Yep. So we're doing an entry-level course for those that have never shot before, and that's 15 targets. Nothing's more than 20 yards. Everything's full broadside. And we'll start with a mule deer. We'll start with some dinosaur targets and give you something to play with. And I've got the rental bows, rental arrows, and the whole 9 yards to go
Really?
with it. Yep. And then as you transition from that, you're going to step over to the next level course. And that takes you through somewhere between 20 to 25 targets, anything out to about 65 yards. We'll have a couple moving targets in there typically. But when you look at those, half of those targets will be broadside. The other half will be hard quartering to or hard quartering away, or have some steel challenge in the way. And then the extreme event that we had in May up in Bailey, Colorado, there was nothing broadside. Everything was a hard angle, even bunny rabbit target facing away from you 6 feet out and 4 feet below your feet. So hard angles.
Jeez, that's fun. So 4 events all over Colorado. How are you funding this? How are you doing all this stuff on your own?
So part of Archery in Motion is helping funding it, because Archery in Motion ended up with a couple loans, a couple grants to help build that. In the process of Archery in Motion, I got connected and went through a bunch of the different military entrepreneur programs. So whether it was Warrior Rising or IBMF Bunker Labs, the Rosie Network, DAV Patriot Boot Camp, or even Colorado Veteran Business Outreach Center. Worked through all the different programs, learned what I could to become a business owner, and kind of develop that skill set. That's helped me understand financials and where I can get money and where I can find money and where I can help reach out to companies like Tricer to say, hey, I'm building this event. Would you be willing to donate a raffle prize? Drew and crew were kind enough to do so. I ended up with about 50 companies that sent me gear as raffle prizes. So really it's just understanding my audience, understanding the companies that I can partner with, reach out to them, and figure out how to put those pieces together.
Gotcha. And so how many years have you been doing this now?
So Valor is next month will be a year old. Archery in Motion is just shy of 3 years old.
Okay. And Archery in Motion is continuing. You're continuing to build that on top of this. Same time.
Yep.
I mean, these 3D shoots are getting awesome. And what you're really looking for, I guess, now is like these archery clubs. Like, 'cause a lot of our stuff local, like we have like 2 clubs. Like they were the ones that would buy that motion target for all the events they do year round.
So that's one dream aspect of it. Things like outfitters that are, whether it's New Mexico, Wyoming, Montana, the outfitters that take folks out for hunting adventures, you probably should have them practice on a moving target before you take those paid clients out to go chase that animal and see if they can even hit something. Then you look at where's the growth path to this is the military, even to this day, still shoots at stationary targets. Last I checked, we've been in wars for almost 24 years. It's probably time to change from shooting at that stationary um, green target, silhouette target, to either a steel plate or a cardboard target that's on the move to make it a more realistic practice scenario. That changes the perspective, it changes it, it makes it real, but it also gives you an understanding of what your capabilities are. And that's kind of where the growth path is take it into the military, law enforcement down the road, but we're not there yet.
Oh, that's really neat. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because it is the truth. I mean, now archery moving, I'm not really taking that shot, but I have taken some. Like when I see moving on
Come on now.
animals, when I see moving animals like with a rifle, it happens. It happens more often than not. A lot of times it's a slow walk. I'll put it in front of them. You know what I mean? It's a slow, like they haven't stopped yet. You can't get them to stop. Give it to them.
Okay, but Drew, think
I
about
did.
like
I did shoot a goat on the run this year. I did do
okay,
that. I did. Yeah, I did.
hogs in
Doing that with my
Texas
bow.
never stop moving. Turkeys never
Yeah,
stop moving.
yeah. I can't think of a
Mule
couple this
deer.
year with my bow that I did shoot.
See,
I did shoot a
you,
couple with my bow on the move this year. I did shoot a pig with my bow on the move. That was a bad shot. that was a,
but that's how you practice, and
that
that's
was a bad shot. But I
if you're
did. But I did shoot a goat. I mean, I shot one goat broadside. Another goat popped up, stopped, shot him. Another goat's running, turn, let it, put it right through it. And that one was actually pretty perfect. It was pretty awesome. But it was 30 yards. So it wasn't like anything to write home
sure.
about. But still, goat on the move, got him killed. But yeah, no, and the big thing for me isn't necessarily like I want to shoot every animal moving. It's the same reason why I practice at 80, 100 yards, but I don't shoot that far at animals, right?
The pronghorn I dropped 2 years ago was 94 yards out. It is worthwhile to practice those longer shots because you might have the opportunity, and that's the only shot you get. Same with moving targets. If that mule deer, that elk is 30 yards, but it's walking, even not just at a walk, every time that elk takes a step, it's 3 feet. Having that understanding of how to take that shot correctly rather than putting it through the guts, that it makes a difference in how you make that shot.
So you've been going for a year now. I imagine the first event was kind of like test your. How are these events going this year?
Good. So we're still building the name, we're still building the brand, we're still building the recognition. But the unique challenges that we're setting up, whereas TAC is really focused on set it up in the trees or set it up in the rocks, half of my events have been in flat, open fields with no trees to be found. And to be able to make it a challenging shot in flat, open space for enough to where people are saying, this was tough, this was challenging, this was a lot of fun, that says a lot about what the courses that I'm building. So really just trying to change the game, change the mindset of it doesn't have to be full broadside at 31 yards. Put hard quartering 2 at 26 yards. That's a whole different shot scenario.
100%. And then you put a steel rib cage on it, and you're really done.
Yeah, that's just evil.
Yeah, I mean, you're just getting cussed at all day long. I'm sure you have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Hates you
But they love it. I love it. It's all good.
Yeah, there's nothing better than watch somebody else break their arrows. When you break your own, like I love sitting there and watching the steel target and watch everybody else do it. And it's just when mine are up there that it hurts the most.
Yep. So I do have a steel plate as well. It's got a 4-inch, a 3-inch, a 2-inch, and a 1-inch circle cut into it. So build yourself up. Get comfortable at 4-inch, cool. 3-inch, 2-inch, yep. I had a gentleman walk out during the extreme event in Bailey in May that his very first arrow of the day was a 1-inch hole at 27 yards, and he drilled it.
Nice.
So it can be done. You just got to know how. Trust your gear, trust your focus.
I'm not taking that shot first thing in the morning. I'm probably not taking that shot in the afternoon either. My arrows get given to me, and I still don't like doing it. I hate breaking them. It's just even the time I put into building them. You know what I mean? I build out these Eastman's arrows, and I'm like, I don't want to. It took me all this time to cut those things and glue them and put the fletchings on and put the inserts in, and then I break them.
Even that's therapeutic, right? Just building arrows.
It is building arrows. I really enjoy building my own arrows. Honestly, like. It's kind of like reloading for me. Like I really enjoy doing it, sitting down and doing it. So I started doing that. I can go to the garage and
just put some vanes on arrows for 2 hours, and now I've got a good inventory, and I'm all kinds of calm.
Yeah, I sit down, do my office, turn the TV on, put on like a gritty show or something, or put on hunt film, and then do some arrows sitting here for a couple hours and putting the arrows together. And the thing about archery is you just can't do it fast. It's just so slow. It's just glue, and and
that's okay because it forces you to sit down and focus and get out of your own head for a bit.
And again, it's just like that's why I reload my animals or my ammo too. It's like there's something cool about shooting your arrow or
Mhm.
your bullet that you made. It's just like when you process your own game. It's like
Yes.
it's a whole nother level to it that you could add to it. You know what I mean? I
Yep.
don't do my own bow tuning. I hate that stuff. Like I have a lot of friends who do it that can do it for me. But like the bow tuning thing is like I don't want to think about it. But I'll do my own arrows.
Yeah.
I do it.
I I lost trust in a lot of the different shops around, so I do all of my own tuning. I build my own arrows. I order them up, get them cut to length, and then from there, I build it all. Go out and shoot them, play with them, have fun.
So you got a bow press and everything, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where like I have friends that do that too, and I'm like, dude, I can just go to the bow shop. But the problem with the bow shop is I go down there. Talk about cathartic. You get a good bow shop, and I've been down there for 4 hours. I mean, might as well go to the bar. I go down there for. I'm in there for four. I can't go to the bow shop for less than 3-4 hours every time I go down there and hang out with these
Yeah.
guys.
Well, yeah, but that's different level of camaraderie and community, especially in the archery community. Whereas in the firearm space, you probably saw it. There's a lot more ego involved, so you don't get that level of interaction that you do in the archery space. You're not going to go to the gun shop for 4 hours and have conversations with everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely true. There's something about the archery space. It is more camaraderie for sure than the shooting space. I can say the NRL hunter is really fun.
Yeah.
NRL hunter, like I've done PRS as well, which is cool. And it is camaraderie. There's camaraderie there, but it's like the NRL hunter is like very similar to TAC.
Yeah.
And you're the only difference is like you can't shoot next to each other. You know what I mean? It's a lot more like systemized, but like you are talking crap. You're all with each other. You're kind of
Right.
it's just not the same as when someone's in the full draw and you're in their head. You know what I mean? Because you can't do that because they have headphones on and they're timed, right? You're not. It's different in that sense, but it is NRL hunter is the closest thing I've found when it comes to competitive shooting that I really enjoy. I think everyone should go shoot NRL hunter and everyone should go shoot TAC events. If you're gonna go hunting this fall, like go do an NRL hunter event with whatever rifle. The cool with my NRL is you can go out there with your freaking, your Savage 308
Nice.
Axis and go hunt it, and go shoot it and have a good time, and learn something about it, right? Because you're going to be at your level no matter what, and that's what I love about TAC or your event is like every guy and their mom is a 100-yard shooter until you put an animal in front of them. I mean,
Yep.
dude, I missed twice in Africa less than 60 yards on a zebra and a wildebeest, and I don't know what I was doing. Like, I mean, I killed the week before I'd killed like 6 animals in Hawaii, little tiny goats and sheep, and then I missed. I mean, like, just it was things like they ran, they stopped. I rushed a shot and put it in front of them. One of them jumped the string, and it's just like you just fall apart. And the only way you really get good at that, aside from hunting animals, is doing these TAC events or these
Shooting in
Valor
3D.
Archery Challenge events, right?
Yep. Shooting 3D. It really does because the gun range, you're going to be at a bench. You're shooting at a known distance, 100 yards, 300 yards, 1,000 yards, but you're going to be shooting from a bench. You typically don't go on cold, windy days. You go when it's nice and warm and you're comfortable. 3D archery events, you're shooting at a animal silhouette. For my events, it's all about hard quartering animals, or angles, so that you really understand what that shot placement even looks like. If it's hard quartering too, know that if you shoot it up in the front shoulder, you're going to hit shoulder blade, both lungs, and then come out the back liver going out. Vice versa, if it's a hard quartering
So
away.
you don't even care about the insert.
No,
I love that. I
no.
love that because some of these shots, you're like, that's not even a kill shot, but it's a 10.
And I do it a little different. All my targets are directional. So, whereas when you go to TAC, the target's left, target right doesn't matter. All mine are directional, so that they're showcasing which direction you need to go after you take that shot. You're not going to get lost because you already know if the animal's
Oh,
head is
it
to the
points
left.
you to the next spot.
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Right. We do well to either mow or weed eat, so you got a clear path. This last weekend, we were out in kind of rattlesnake country, so I had signage up that said, rattlesnakes in the area, but I mowed everything down to where it was an inch above dirt, so that you had a clear path to walk and follow. Had flagging out, so everything's clearly marked, so you know where you're going.
Man, you know what I was thinking? Like you could add this to your archery and motion business is just a Kickup flag. You step on it, flag pops up right in front of the target.
Yep.
And you step on it and it pops up, and you step on it again, it drops down. So almost like a kick drum
Right.
for like a
For
drumming
a drummer.
set.
Yep.
Make that. Put
Yep.
that in your put that in your thing. Archery Motion. It's a free, innovative idea from Drew. Because man, because I've been at these events where you have arrows flying by you, and you're like, "Whew, that was close."
Yep.
Like at some of my local events, like no offense to my local guys, like dude, I don't know if they were drinking when they set it up or what, but you're like sitting there and you can hear the arrows, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is gnarly," James's is really good. James's
Yeah.
is a good event.
I've heard that as well, as that his setups are very good.
James is very good. But I've had some local ones where you're just like, this is a little sketchy, and there are times at TAC where I'm back looking for an arrow, right? Because I missed because I suck. Or I'm with, actually, I was probably shooting with you and you missed, right? I had a 10.
There
Right?
we go.
So Sam missed. I'm looking for Sam's arrow for him, right? And you're back, and in TAC, it's so thick. And there's
Right.
no one, and sometimes you're getting so stacked up and so backed up, there's no one to know you're back there. There's no way to really say you're back there. And if there was a way to step on a kick drum, kick it up, it would work. I'd probably still attack guys this too, but make
So
that thing, man.
what I found when I went to TAC and I had to go behind the target, I would put my bow directly in front of the target.
That's a good idea too. Put your bow in front of the target. But
Yep.
even then, like they have to see that. They have to be able to.
Most people are going to see that there's something in the way of the target, because most people are typically, they're either glassing or they're ranging what that target is. They're going to see that bow is sitting there, and they're going to go, well, why is there a bow there? That's at least going to make them pause and look.
Yeah.
That's something. For my events, we don't. I encourage people to wear bright colored clothing so that you're at least visible. But I do a 15 to 20 degree range either side of the target, so that there is a clear safety window. And once you walk to this target, you're walking hard out and away. You're not walking behind it at all.
Yeah, that was definitely a tragic event, and I've done a bunch of their events, and they are incredibly safe.
They are.
I was trying to think of a way to. Another thing could be is like an orange vest that you put over the target animal. An orange vest, right on. Put an orange vest, drape it over it, and then you go look for your arrow. And when you're looking for an arrow, you take the orange vest off and you walk off.
Yep, that's an option as well, and that's probably easier than trying to make a kick drum for 30 targets out there.
A kick drum for more than 30. Those guys are throwing up.
Yeah, they're dumping 100 targets on a mountain.
A couple hundred targets in a weekend, But yeah, like an orange vest is drape it over the target, and then hey, someone's back there.
Yep.
And then you take that sticker off and leave. Because it's like, how do you, especially if you're shooting by yourself, because some guys go out there and run those things by themselves. How do you say that you're back there, and something can happen?
Like I said, for me, the easiest thing that I found was take my bow, set it directly in front where it's covering the vitals as best I can. That way, at least it forces somebody to pause and go, why is there a bow out there?
Yep, 100%. But if it was bright orange, I think they'd get it. I'm just trying to think of the good way. I know that there's going to be some extreme. It's going to suck for TAC. They're going to have to do some probably. I mean, the insurance is going to want somebody sitting at every damn target, which is going to suck. That's not going to happen.
The Hike to Hunt event after that accident attack, the Hike to Hunt said Hunter Orange is required for all participants.
Really?
Yeah.
That might be where it goes, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Which is cool because a bunch of these dorks go out there and they wear full friggin' Sitka camo anyways. They'll be at home wearing their orange, dude. I'm out there in like my Crocs and like some shorts, shooting these events. These guys are out there in like their Kenetrex and
everything that they
got the gaiters on. I'm out there just like wearing my Chacos,
Yep, I've seen enough of them. Every bit of Kuyu and every bit of Sitka that they can put on, they're out there in it. You just go, guys, it's not hunting.
Oh, I want to be as light as possible. I love wearing the I have like a Kafaru belt, and then just like quiver. I got a Nalgene bottle, maybe a GoPro in there, and that's it. I'm just going, doing my thing. And
I usually have a pack with a Camelback in it and probably 8 extra arrows, but that's really the extent of what's in the pack.
Well, I only bring it to my quiver if I can't do it in that.
Whatever.
No, I'm just joking. I always have extra arrows. I did pretty good. James this year, I did not lose an arrow at James's. I did miss out of, I think, 50 targets. I missed twice, but I didn't lose an arrow, which was like kind of like my that's pretty good. Didn't lose an arrow. Yeah, it's a win, The hard thing about like Tacks is I feel like you always hit trees. And once you put one of those 4 mils into a tree, you're never getting it back.
No,
I just kick it out. I just walk up and kick the thing off. I don't try and cut it. I used to try and cut them out. It's just like there's no point.
No,
once you hit a tree, it's done. Or a lot of the Tacks. I mean, some of these, you realize how bad people shoot when you go to attack. I mean, you're talking hundreds of arrows underneath. They have a bin. If anyone's ever been there, it looks like a Christmas tree. They stack them up, and it's like 8 feet tall of just people's arrows because people
and it's a horse trough in the bottom of it.
Yeah,
it's a 2.5 foot horse trough that's just completely filled with arrows, 8 foot tall. It's amazing.
It makes you want to wear Hunter's Orange. Tell you what.
Right. I saw something on Facebook, something in the last 2 weeks where a gentleman did an estimate on how much money was spent on arrows across the country for annually for TAC, and it's like $1.5 million.
Oh, I bet. Has to be. Has to be. I mean, I know. I mean, for me to get a set of my arrows done, it's 300 something bucks. I mean, I'm like 25
Yeah,
bucks an arrow now, at least.
right.
At least
And they're not
25,
getting
30.
any cheaper.
Not getting any cheaper, especially talking into these 4 mils and these Eastons, and it's just like, you want to run the good stuff.
Actually, have you heard of Cooley Archery yet?
Cooley?
Yep. So it was Mamba Archery. There was a name change. They changed over to KUHLE, Cooley Archery. Bo Davenport out of Texas. Super nice guy. Him and his wife run it. They're fairly inexpensive arrows, but they're good quality. I've run a couple different models, and I use their ultra cheap arrows as my rental arrows. So
Check them out. They make 4 mils.
they do make 4 mils.
Because you're not cool unless you shoot 4 mils now. I don't know if you know that or not. You have to shoot a micro diameter arrow, and you got to have a big what's it called, a vac? No, FOC.
FOC. Yep.
Yeah, a big focker up in the front. So you got to have that high fock.
Now,
So
to your 4 mil point, right? If you can score a 10 ring with a 4 mil and it's within the ring, you're good to go. If it's breaking a ring, whereas the 5 mil, 6 mil guys, they've got a lot more leeway and flex in the ring.
I literally want to go to like a big fat arrow. Like we had this guy out. I hope he's listening to this pod right now. We did Lampers Western Hunting Summit last year. And we each had like our own team, and like this guy never shot 3D archery before, but he was shooting like I don't know. It had to be like an 8 mil. I don't know what it was. Some big whitetail thing. Dude, that guy got so many lines. Wasn't even funny. I mean, just crushed it. And it was like, dude, like you miss with a 4 mil, you miss so many lines, and if you're counting score, it sucks.
Right, but if you're shooting a 4 mil and if you're breaking a line or in the line, you're there.
Yeah.
Versus if you're shooting tree trunks, you can't say that it's real score.
That's how you do it. Okay, because if you're shooting with James Visser, no, it wasn't a score. If you're shooting a 4 mil, you're out. James is a freaking dick when it comes to shooting archery, 3D archery.
Come on, he put up a video a year ago where the arrow was from here to the line and said, well, it's pulling the line, does it count? Even I jumped in and said, no, James, that's not counting.
Dude, he's so by the book. He's such a good, like the problem with James is he's such a good shot. Like I know he's like goofy online, like doing his James thing, but
right.
Dude, the guy beat Cameron Haynes, right? The guy beats Bomar. The guy dude, he is such a good shot. It's so frustrating to shoot with him because like if he gets an 8, he's mad, right? Like if he gets less than an 8, he's really mad, right? Like he's just so good at archery, man. Like he's so like naturally gifted at it. He's been pitching to bows since he was like 3 years old.
Oh,
I love shooting with him because he just makes you a better archer. But man, he doesn't give you anything. He does not give me anything. No quarter. It's like, oh nope, you're out.
I mean, that's what's fair. I grew up when I first started shooting archery competitively. One of the guys that I shot with early on, said, if your arrow isn't halfway in the line where you're cutting that line in half with your arrow, it doesn't count. So pulling a line for him, he said, it's out. It's not even close.
Oh no! Like I shot with Illingsworth, and he's like barely even touching the line. He's counting it. Those guys, these guys are they're soft. They're a lot softer. These aren't military guys. You guys are soft. They count everything. It's close enough. Everyone gets a trophy with Nate Illingsworth and James Visser. They get touch that line, they're getting it. Both incredibly better shooters than me, by the way. Nate Illingsworth, I cannot believe how good of a shot that guy is. I thought for sure that he was like never going to be good at archery, and he's like really good. I mean, we're talking. I think crushing it, dude. I think he put 10 in the 10 ring on my Tricer course with me, and I was like, "Dang, you were good." He's a really good shot.
Yeah.
I mean, all he does is write jokes and shoot archery, apparently. So I don't know.
Well,
make memes, make reels, and shoot archery all day long. Guy up there.
He's having fun with it. That's all that matters.
Having a good time. But that's one nice thing about shooting some of these good guys, man. They make you a better shot, and these guys are out there practicing every single day. I do love James and Nate both. So, dude, what a cool thing you're doing with the Valor Archery. You got any success stories? You guys, is this really changing you guys' lives? You guys liking it?
I'm loving it. I had an email come back from a participant after this last weekend. Email hit my inbox Monday, and actually I'll pull it up and read it to you because got my attention here. So he said, "Thank you for another outstanding event. This was our third time participating in the Valor Archery Challenge. Thank you for bringing attention to the veteran community and the method to use archery as therapy. These courses have helped me to block out the noise by focusing on challenging and fun shots. I brought my 8-year-old son, and we totally love the experience and planning that went into creating your courses. We look forward to the next one."
That's awesome, dude. It's all
So
about
to
right
get
there.
that type of feedback says, I'm doing something right. I've impacted somebody in a positive way. That made me feel good about what we're doing.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that, and I love what you guys are doing. Like I said, we always like to give to you guys. You want to give raffle prize, whatever you guys need. We want to support you guys. I might even try and get one of my vets who lives out in Colorado to come shoot one of your events, huh?
Come send them out. Happy to have them. Got
How
another
can we
one
support?
coming
How
up
can we
July
support you guys?
12th.
How
And
can we
then,
shoot with you guys? What do you guys got going on?
so July 12th up in Greeley, north end of Colorado, will be for with the Greeley Archers for their event called Freedom Fest. But I'm taking over their range, tearing their targets down, putting up my own event. Because how often are you going to shoot at flamingo targets? That just makes it fun. And then August 8th and 9th, I will be a presenter, and I'm also setting up a full course for the Colorado Outdoorsman Days down in Florence, Colorado as well. So that'll have an entry-level course, free to use, free rental gear, just come out and play. And then for the novelty and next level courses, it's $40 to come out and shoot.
So bring your cheap arrows, because I have a feeling Sam's kind of a dick when it comes to these courses.
It's going to be evil.
It's going to be evil. What a fun
Like you
pod,
said early
Sam.
on, military guys have a broken sense of humor, and I am right there with it. I got tired of shooting stationary targets. I got tired of shooting broadside all day, every day. That's why I went out and started my own thing, so I don't have to play those games anymore.
That's awesome, man. I'll have to come out and shoot one of these things with you at some point here.
Please do. Come on out.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Let's do it again, huh?
All right. Thanks, Drew.